So what do you want out of this? Don't tell me how you feel, because I'll believe it, and then you leave me.
All
That's
right.
wild.
And we are live with Devin Griffin. How you doing,
Hell
bro?
yeah, what's up, man?
Nice to see you. Nice to
Feeling
see
good, feeling great.
So, bro just fucking dropped a new album, a new project. He's been working on it for a couple months now, right?
It's true, yes.
You said December?
December, yeah. Recorded pretty much the entire album in 2 weeks in the span of 14 days, but mixing, mastering, promo,
Nice.
stuff like that.
Nice.
But
That's
yeah,
solid.
dude.
So, beginning of December, you did 2 weeks. And you did all the instrumentals yourself, right?
Yep, self-produced everything. No loops, no samples. Not like there's anything wrong with that. Just
Yeah.
it's very much like from scratch, from heart.
No, it's something to be
type of
said about that
project,
for
but-
sure. It's like in your art. And I think it's very apparent, like listening to it. It was like it just has that energy with it where it's just like obviously this was created with intention and like with like the way the notes coincide with your voice and everything. Like it's obviously like this was a production. You can't really
I
like
think-
type in a tight beat like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I try, man. I think for a long time I made art or like music for like purpose of like practice or like getting better almost.
Okay.
Kind of like exploring like what I want to do. And that's not to say like I don't explore like genres on this project.
Right.
Cuz like
Oh, you
the-
definitely did.
the
yeah.
intro on the album is like a down tempo house song and I've never made house music in my life up until that song.
Really. I would have thought you did after hearing that one too.
I don't know. I just was feeling it, I
Right,
guess.
you
I
killed
was
that
listening
song.
to that Drake album and I was like,
Yeah.
imagine if this was like really depressing.
that house one. Everyone
That
gave him
was-
shit for that album. I love that album.
I think it's dope. I mean, I listened to it like on a summer day when I was driving to Milwaukee.
Mm.
And I think context of listening to music is really important to how you perceive it.
Okay.
Because like it's like a house album, but if you listen to it when it drops at midnight alone in your room in your earbuds, like
Yeah,
it's
you're
not
not
when you're
really in a
supposed to
house
listen to
mood.
like club music. You're
Right.
supposed to listen to club music
New
in a
Drake
club.
dropped. Yeah.
Exactly. Like people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's some ass," because you're in your bedroom alone because you don't have any friends.
Yeah. That was sad. and shit.
But
Why
like,
doesn't this
if it
house
comes on
hit?
in the club, you're not gonna be like, "Switch."
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at
It's
all. I
like-
love that shit, dude.
I don't know.
So what was your first intention when you were coming to create this album? Like, where did the inspiration like come from?
I was just, I don't know, man. So I was going to school full time. I was working part time. It was just like, dude, I didn't have like free time to like sit down and make music. Like
Yeah.
I had bits and pieces over here where I'd be like, all right, I got an hour after I get done with my class and then I work.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use 30 minutes of that to like crank some shit out. And I would, like I'd do some mixing and mastering or I'd like make a loop, but then I had to have to leave. It was like a very like chopped up workflow. And I hated
Yeah,
it so
yeah.
much. So like Christmas break happened, like the second the semester
You had all
ended,
that time off.
I locked myself in my basement. I was like, I don't know. I think I was just like, I want to just create,
Yeah.
right? Like I want to make music.
You finally have the time to.
Yeah,
too. You have the time
exactly.
and the
So I
space.
took the week off work. I just like locked the fuck in, dude. I like left my basement to like eat and sleep, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of like where this album comes from, being called "Don't Come Back for Me." Shout out Renee for the cover art, the owner of Java Cat. She took that picture while she
Oh,
was
yeah,
in the
we-
Alps. She's a gem.
So she made that in she took it or she made that?
So if the original thing is a picture, I'll pull it up right now. So she took that picture in the Alpine Mountains in Switzerland
Nice.
when she was in Europe, and she came back and was like showing me pictures and scrolling through all the shit, telling me about her trip, and she showed me that, and I was like, "Whoa, that's sick! Like that
Yeah.
could be an album cover." And she was like, "You should make it an album cover." And then I was like, "Yo."
Are you fair?
So she sent it to me, and I like put like the paint filter over
Yeah.
it and like made the borders to make it like more dark and stuff. And that was like before I had even finished the album.
Right.
I made that because I just thought like it looked cool.
I mean, it does.
And I was like, if anything, I'll just use it for promo. But
So if you made the picture before the album, did you like use that picture as inspiration ever, like while you're going through it? Just
I-
kind of look at it like,
I think so, because like already the atmosphere I had set, by that time I had made Runner Up, Bonsai Tree, Relapse, I think.
Killer songs.
Yeah, so those 3 songs.
All of them hit.
All of
Yeah.
them. I do. Those are my babies for real. But I had made those 3 songs, and it's already like a darker kind of like vibe.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the full like purpose of this album didn't really become clear until like I finished making it. But basically, it was the end of the semester, right? Like I'm going to this like technical college. I'm like kind of coasting. I'm like working part-time.
Okay.
But I was doing shows, you know, like we did all the shows at Java Cat. Shout out Java Cat.
Yeah, for real.
I was doing all the shows at Java Cat. My music was doing like okay, you know, like I should be happy, right?
Yeah.
But I felt miserable.
Where do you think that comes from? Like why?
I don't know. I think it comes from like for me being stagnant. I think part of like
Your anxiety just like
yeah, like I don't not even just like in life, just like not doing stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was like a routine. It was like a robot routine, man. It was like, all right, wake up, go to class, come back, do homework, see if you can make some music, work till 10 p.m., be tired as fuck, maybe go to the gym, and then just sleep.
Yeah. Have like, an hour maybe at
exactly
night.
Yeah, and then you just spend an hour
hard.
Fucking like scrolling TikTok or something.
Yeah.
So like, and I was like looking at my life, I was like, dude, I've got all these things going on, like why am I still miserable?
Yeah.
And I just like, so I like locked myself in my basement, not just like literally, like I didn't go out, I didn't hang out with my friends. I like didn't go to parties. I didn't go out on the weekend.
Instagram down.
Like I did. Like I put everything down and I locked in because I wanted to ask myself the question, why do I feel miserable? And I think this album, in a sense, was like the answer to that. So it's called "Don't Come Back for Me," and the whole like the concept of the album is very much it's like running away from something within yourself that makes you uncomfortable, whether that be addiction. I don't know, sexual frustration, an insecurity within like how you perceive yourself. Yeah. You know, anxiety, depression, all these things that like a lot of people deal with. And I feel like Western culture, our society is like pushed these like so-called answers towards us that are kind of just like
we got the answer.
It's like a distraction. It's like
absolutely.
Like you don't like what you're thinking in your head. It's okay, just scroll TikTok for a couple hours so you don't have to think about it. Yeah, take a little pill, like smoke a little weed, like and like I don't know. There's not like a ton of things inherently wrong with any of those, but like nothing's changing, and that's why like this album, it's all about change. The concept of it, like the message of the album is if you don't confront these things, these insecurities, these issues within you, nothing's going to change. Yeah. That's how you become stagnant, is you just become a yes man. You're like, okay, oh my God, yes, I'll comply with this routine. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll settle for this job that doesn't really make me happy, but gets me by. Which there's nothing inherently wrong with.
Yeah, sometimes you
but you start to let these things control you and define who you are, and you lose sight of the joy in life. Yeah,
it's that age old. You become the environment you're in. You become the people you're surrounded by. So
exactly,
you're living a miserable life like that without trying to break free. You're gonna be stuck in that fucking loop, dude.
It is, and it was like that's how I felt. I felt stuck. I felt stagnant.
I could tell that a lot by the last song in the project that you had there, man. Like that was fucking like
that.
Oh my! It gives me goosebumps every time that drop comes in, and then like just the very end, how you were talking earlier today about what was the last like lines you were saying?
So it's the last line. So that song, funny enough, it's called "Change" on the album. But that song, when I first exported like the first demo of it, was called "Afraid." And because it's like it was, like very because the like screamo part, it's like I wish I could change, like, and then like the last line is I know I can change, I can stop being afraid. Yeah. So I was like, oh, afraid, like it sounds cool, whatever. And I was listening to the album, I was talking to people about it. And it doesn't make sense for me, I felt like, with the message of the album being like, things like without confrontation, nothing changes. Mm-hmm. So why would I end that story with being afraid of change when the whole thing is overcoming this fear?
It's like embracing change
insecurities within yourself.
And you can still be afraid, but like embracing that change.
And that's
just
what
like,
the song
yeah,
is about. And it's
absolutely.
like
Getting
the
those comfort
process ends with change.
Yeah, absolutely.
After all the confrontation on all the other songs, the cycle ends with change.
I like that.
And I had somebody tell me, they were like, you should change the title of Afraid to Change because it makes more sense with the point you sound like you're trying to get across.
I like that a lot.
And it was like a mind blown.
I think it's even deeper that like, glad it's kind of being on track, because I think it's even deeper like knowing that for me, just like knowing that song was called Afraid and you changed it to Change. Like I think that's just like poetic in itself.
I think it is, dude. It's like, because I was very like, I don't know, like that was the last song off of the album I made. It originally was supposed to be 8 tracks, so this was supposed to be the second to last song, right?
Okay.
And I already had like a brief track list. I was like, okay, I need like an outro. I need something big. And I like played the guitar loop for it, and I was like, okay. I sat down, and I didn't write any of this. The original audio recording is like the guitar loop for like 5 minutes and me just like humming shit until like I thought of lines that sounded good. That? I don't know. I have to look.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool as hell though. Maybe if I find it, I'll drop it on like SoundCloud or something, but I honestly don't know.
Just the skeleton.
It might be like deleted from my like backups or something. Cause
that'd be cool if like you dropped like, it's so like you obviously wouldn't be like major platforms, but like
a demo edition.
Like, a demo of like the skeleton of all these pieces, like me just humming, me like playing the guitar. Maybe it's like an hour long track of you just like piecing it all together.
Dude,
I think that'd be cool.
That would be sick. Maybe I should start like keeping track of my demos to like do that for the next project. But
it's easy to just delete everything, try and be clean.
Yeah, I went into the making of like the outro with like, okay, like what do I need to say to myself? What do I need to hear to like wrap this up with like in a neat little bow?
Yeah.
Right. And so I just kind of like, I listened to the guitar and I just like let it flow. And it started with like the breathe. Like the first line of that song was the first line in the recordings. Breathe. I wish you could see the places I go when I'm left alone. Why are you scared? And it started like just invoking this like emotion that was like, it's like this gradual little buildup that kind of like you is subliminally noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no like drums or anything. It was just the guitar. Like that's it. And I like stopped in the middle of like recording and I'm like building more. I'm like putting more guitar layers and shit. And then I like just start like going at it with like the
yeah.
And I like made the drums for it, and I was like, it was like this huge thing because I wanted like a climax. Obviously,
it felt huge. Like when that drop comes in, I like that space right before the drop comes in. Is like that moment of like realization. It's like maybe I don't want.
I think the reason, like something that helped me realize a lot of things that I confront on this project was being alone in silence. In my basement by myself in my studio without voices from other people telling me what they think I should do, what needs to change, this or that, like, or like just the background noise. It's like, it's this background noise, like like it's so distracting.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's good, like in a sense, like, oh, I don't have to like live with my own thoughts and like all this other shit. But like in the silence, like I'm sitting there listening to what I have so far of this record. And I'm just like I like press pause and it's just silence. And sometimes silence is just really loud.
Oh yeah.
And I just like let it loose. And that's where like that second half of the track comes. And I think it's just like, dude, it's like, that's where like I started really confronting these things because the whole album, the whole rest of the album before it is talking about like distractions. It's kind of like this gradual, like, relapse. The opener, it's very minimalist production, right? It's like glitchy sounds. The vocals are formatted. You can't really tell exactly what it's saying at first until you like really pay attention. And like gradually each song on the track list gets more and more intense until you get to a song like Keep Me Out, the second to last song on the album, which is like opium rage music mixed with like hyper pop.
Do like how'd that one go again?
We'll put it up on the screen, but it's like, don't you keep me out.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that one. That like, goes crazy. Dude, I love that one. I mean, I love every song, so it's hard for me to be like, you're gonna name any song and be like, oh, I love that one.
Dude,
like,
thank you.
Yeah, dude, you killed it. You can tell you put your heart into it.
It was, dude. That song was like, I wanted to drop that as a single so bad because it's very like it's a trendy sound, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like I really brought my own like sauce to it.
I like that
with like the hyper pop difference instead of like doing like some Cardi or Destroy Lonely stuff over it.
Okay.
But I like the chorus. Like the reason I didn't do it was because it like the writing of the song doesn't really make sense unless it's in the context of the album. Because it's like as you're focusing on like these distractions, like relapse, it's like about relapsing. It's about drugs and addiction, like a distraction from what's going on internally.
Right.
Like Bonsai Tree is like using relationships with other people as a distraction from what's going on within yourself, focusing on like what's going on with somebody else.
Right.
It's like, oh, if I just like get close to this person, I'll like not have to deal with like how much I hate myself
like
if I love this person.
It's keeping you from growing.
And then there's Martyr, which is like a sex song. And it's like, oh, if I just like let me like get involved with this person in this moment, like I can forget about like the problems of the outside world for like 10 seconds. Or
sounds like a whole bunch of like battling addiction, like
it is, like, dude. That's the whole thing. And then it's like runner,
like
and then there's like
addiction in different forms. Like, oh, I battled pills, or I battled alcohol, or this and third, and now
dude.
Now I'm my regular. If now I gotta battle. Oh shit, I have a problem with women. Like I didn't like, or I have a problem with just distractions. How you were saying.
Well, I think like for me, it's like I hope there's something on this record that everyone can like take away something from this record. Because it covers so many different bases and
so
distractions.
Relatable.
Because
so relatable. I felt like you were like talking about my experiences,
dude.
And obviously like, you weren't, but like
because I've dealt with that. I'm like I'm lucky enough to be able to say that I'm like over a year sober from like things that I've like which is where a lot of this stuff is like come from. But like right when I got sober, the first thing that I went to like help me like deal with cravings and stuff was sexual relationships with other people.
That happens a lot.
And it like, I like jumped right into a relationship, and it was like no offense to this person, but like we really just weren't compatible at all. Like we had nothing in common except that. And it was like it worked in a sense for a while, but
for a while,
eventually you just understand like, oh, like this is just another coping mechanism because that person left, like they broke up with me, and I was like distraught, so down, and I like started getting cravings again, and I was like, what's going on? And it's like, dude, look, like drugs fill like a void in your heart. That's why people do them, is like to fill something that feels like it's missing, or that's why I do it. I'm not going to speak for other people, but
distract yourself, fill in the void, not look in the mirror, just fucking
like it's like a distraction.
I'm having fun. I'm running away from
when
my
that
day.
Distraction is taken away from you, you're like, oh, what do I put here?
Anything.
And I like, so then it's like, oh, sex, it's a distraction. That's not what it should be. I think that like it's a beautiful thing.
Takes away from the meaning of what it should be.
But it does, exactly. And I think that that's like what I was like using it for, and it's like that's why as soon as that person like was like no longer was a part of my life, it just like it came right back. It's the same hole. It's the same size. It's still there because there was no confrontation, and that's what this album is about. It's about looking within yourself, like saying no to these distractions, these things that keep you busy, whether it be work, school, partying, whatever, you know, like saying no to those things for 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks. Which is a long ass fucking time. That's the time to be without distraction.
That's the time to get drugs out. Alcohol is like 2 weeks, I think. Like if you go 2 weeks, that's the hardest 2 weeks to get rid of addiction.
Problem. I mean, like it's always gonna be a struggle, man. But like,
no,
like I'm not like. It probably took me about like a week or two.
Yeah, that's like the hardest amount of time.
Get it out, and it is like, but like when you're just alone in silence, like. You hear yourself a little bit more clearly.
Yeah.
You know? when you're off social media, when you're not like out and about,
Yeah.
you really start to like, it's like your brain forces you to confront these things. It's like, all right, like you've been doing your own thing. Now listen to me. This is my cry for help.
Remember this?
And that's what a lot of this album was like me crying for help. And in the outro in Change, you hear me confront that, and it's loud. The silence is loud,
dude,
which is why it's a fucking loud ass song with guitars and distorted drums and screechy vocals.
Dude, that silence is like that silence right before the drop is so loud every time. Like my skin just like the hairs just prepare for the drop.
Goosebumps,
like,
bro. Goosebumps.
Every time, man. Every time, dude. There's not been a single time it hasn't.
Thank you so much, dude.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for putting that in the world. Fuck me, dude. I didn't do that. Like shit.
I don't know. I'm glad that like people are able to like really take stuff away from this album, because I remember like playing it for people before I released it, because I really wanted to get like everybody's perspective. And, like, I think you remember you came over to Zay's house. Yeah, I played it for you and Blue Jacket.
You all played an album.
Shout out Blue Jacket. He's fucking killing it.
That's my boy.
That's my fucking boy right there.
I'll see you soon.
Don't Follow Me, bro. Fucking, he's got a track coming out. Yeah. Probably might already be out by the time this is out. Anymore or something. Yeah. That shit.
Yeah, bro's constantly pushing. Here's his link. Probably down there. Go check him out.
You'll find it. Shout out.
He'll be on here in a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man.
Oh man, dude. But yeah, that was a cool time when you were showing me that project. I remember hearing that first song. I'm still bad with the names of the it's such a new Relapse. Yeah. That song is so different, bro. Like so in the best way possible. Like,
it was.
What's that word you use that one video on Instagram and you use this word? It's like luminous or
liminal.
Liminal, yeah, liminal space, dude. Like dude. That that is dude. Might just have to so I might cut right here. So that we can put the liminal space like video like up, just like look at this. Thing. Yeah. So imagine that happened.
That is,
no, that's what's gonna happen. But back to it.
There is, man. I don't know. I think like, dude, when I like, that's a lot of my feed is like the fucking. It's called like Dreamcore or like something like that. I don't know.
I like that shit.
Dreamcore, nostalgia core, whatever. I don't know. But like those AI generated pictures where it's like this place seems so familiar. But it's like it's not even real.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't.
It's like
the back rooms and shit.
Like dude, Woodman's feels like it's like a dream. It's like walking in a store in your dreams. Like this place ain't real.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's weird. It's like a fever dream.
Yeah.
But like that was a lot of my feed, and I just be scrolling that shit, and I don't know. I didn't even like put it together until like I was listening to the album and like scrolling, and I like saw a video with it, and it was playing while the song was playing. I was like,
just put it.
Like, whoa. Like it was like a mind-boggling.
Yeah, when you posted that on Instagram, the second I saw it, the whole like song, and the song already had a lot of meaning for me. But like the second I saw that, it just changed. I was like, oh shit, like that is literally like that feeling for me at least. You know, like it matched up with that perfectly.
Dude, yeah. I don't know.
Scratches
I feel like
brain you didn't know you had.
I like making things that are like familiar because obviously like I take influence from stuff like art that I consume, but like. Familiar, I think that like genre of like art is so like cool. Like I appreciate it so much. It's like that somebody's able to create something that's like so familiar to you, yet like not even real. Yeah, and it's weird. It's like really why do I think that this is familiar? And it's like pattern recognition in our brain, I guess. And I like to like I think that. Like being able to do that with like sound is really cool.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be hard. Like when you were making that Relapse song, how did you go about tapping into that energy?
Oof.
Did that song just happen
I
naturally?
don't think it
or
just
did you
happened
intentionally?
naturally. I don't think I like intend. I like this whole album. I wanted to create each song with intention. I don't think that was the original intention of the song,
Yeah.
but I think like it makes a lot of sense because in the sense that like that feeling of addiction and craving substance
Yeah.
was familiar to me. And obviously like a 4 on the floor is a very generic, like used like pattern, drum pattern.
Okay. Yeah.
It's familiar.
Right.
In the sense like you hear, you
Yeah.
automatically picture like a dark room, like a club or a party or something. And like after getting sober, I spent a lot of my summer at parties where people were indulging in substances.
Yeah.
There's nothing, which I want to get out of the way, like there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Like I wish, I'm envious of people who can casually enjoy drinking or smoking
have
or
a
doing
good
whatever. I
relationship,
wish
yeah.
I could do that, bro, but
No.
it's just like I
mean,
do it
yeah.
once and then again and then again and again and again.
No, yeah,
and
it's the
like a
problem lies within the relationship behind that drug. Like
yeah, the relationship you have with that substance. And
like a glass of wine, and this is like an extreme example, but a glass of red wine a day is like healthy for you. Like genuinely, like it's healthy for you, but like 4 bottles, like
not so much, you know, alcohol poisoning.
Your liver is done, bro.
And I like during my reflection when I found like, dude, I found myself like getting invited to stuff, and I had to say like, no, like I'm busy.
Yeah,
like, I wish.
So did you have to go through that period where you were like learning to say no? Like, did it feel weird?
It was. I think I've like something I've struggled with my whole life is just FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And I like, because I'm not like a party person either, but you find me at a lot of them just because like
you want to be
I'm
around
like, I want to see, like I want to catch up with people. I want to know like what's going on, but like
compared to like being at home alone
and seeing that shit on your phone.
Yeah,
when you're doom scrolling,
that too.
You know, like it sucks. Like I hate that.
Just but to like, be there and get like fucking.
But also, I'm like, dude, I've spent like so many months of my life trying to separate myself from this thing, this like this high, these substances. Yet I find myself in spaces where I'm getting so as close to them as I can be.
Right.
And it's like being afraid to change all the way.
Yeah.
Because like, yes, I was sober. Like I wasn't on substances. Like I wasn't under influence.
Right.
But I'm so close. Like I can literally
like
reach out and grab a bottle of vodka if I wanted.
You are just flying close to the sun.
Yeah. It is. And it's like, why? It's because I was afraid to take the
make the decision,
make the step, all the way. That's something that like it is. And I tell people this all the time is like, people can tell you whatever you want, right? People can tell you whatever they want about, oh, you need help, you need to do this, you need to do that. But ultimately, like everything you do in your life is your decision,
right?
And you have to take responsibility for that. Like it took me like 2 weeks of like my buddy LK, shout out LK Schmoove, telling me like, you need to get like, you need help, man. Like,
and that's real
for me to reflect and be like, get to the point where I'm crying in my basement, breaking down, like praying out to God. Like, dude, I don't know what's real anymore. Like, if you're out there, like, tell me now. Otherwise, I think I might just end it all right now.
What was like a sign that like you're like, oh yeah, no, you're real. I'm figuring it out.
The turning point. So I grew up in a Christian household most of my life. I was very like involved in like youth groups and stuff. But my junior year of high school, I was a sophomore and I was like a leader at my youth group.
Oh, nice.
Like I went on a missions trip. Like I was part of the worship team. And like all my friends there were like seniors in high school. So like the next year they all graduated and left.
And you were still there just being a leader.
It was me and all these younger kids. And I was like,
now you're really the leader.
I know. And I like almost like a combination of like not being able to find relationship and then also like being afraid to take on that responsibility.
Yeah.
I was like, who am I to like lead these people? So I like stopped going.
Who aren't you to lead?
I stopped showing up. And I started like, I'd done it before, but like started smoking weed. Started like showing up to my church less and less. I started drinking casually, but like stealing my mom's alcohol and stuff, you know, like shit, like classic shit. Like I feel like everybody can like sort of relate to that.
Yeah.
But got to a point for me where I think like around my junior year, I like stopped believing in God or a God or whatever, you know?
Was there like a reason for that? Was it just like the lifestyle you were
I think it
living?
was just resentment, man. It was like, oh, like these leaders, these people who like led me in my faith. Like it wasn't so much putting my faith in God as much as I was in the people, like the leaders around me. And I think that within religion, like across all different religions, all different churches or like beliefs is like dangerous.
Yeah.
Because humans,
there's a fine line for sure.
We are imperfect.
Yeah,
creatures.
all of us, every single
all of us. Everything we create is imperfect. Like we just will never. I think striving for perfection is like good in a sense, but it's dangerous because it's unrealistic. Yeah. I think striving to get better is good, but striving for perfection is dangerous because for you to put your pressure on yourself of reaching something that we physically just can't reach. Yeah. It's terrible, man. Why would you do that?
That's so much pressure.
It is. Why would you do that to yourself? And it was like, oh, like these people who like taught me everything I know are leaving. They're leaving me. I'm being abandoned. Yeah. So like screw all this. Exactly. It was like me. Like it was like, all right, whatever. Like screw the church. Fuck that. Like I don't need that. Like I'm gonna go do my own thing. Right. And I did, and it like worked out for a little bit, but like into my second semester in my senior year, it was like, dude, I was like showing up high to school every day. I was like drinking a lot. I go on benders and stuff. Like I was spending like give or take $100 on alcohol like a month, bro. If you combine alcohol, weed, and like nicotine, like all that. Bad kid. I know. I was not, dude. It was bad. And that's the reason, bro. Like I'm so bad at saving money. Like even now, bro, I'm like a chronic spender, bro. Yeah. I see like clothes and shit, bro. It's my fucking weakness, dog. Like for me, it's just like I deserve this coffee. I deserve this. It's like it's like a reward system you create in your brain that like. And I think part of that is like addiction. when you're an addict, it like fries your dopamine system. Oh yeah, so and like your reward system. So like when you like try to like lay off and shit, like regardless whether that's being like completely straight edge sober, just trying to get off one thing or the other, like you gotta find a replace for that reward because you're like, oh, what do I do? Oh, I'll just buy this coffee, this caffeine. I'll buy these pair of shoes that I want. I'll buy this like. And then, dude, music shit is the worst because I'm like, oh, this will help my creative process. Knowing damn well it's just gonna like sit in my basement. We almost spent $70 on a cord we could have got by mail. Like, can we just talk about the amount of effort we went into filming this episode? I'm gonna check on this. You start on that though. Let me just double check this. Oh man, I love you, Siri. Yeah, shout out AI, bro. Nah, that shit scares the fuck out of me. Dude, bro. I could talk about AI forever too. That's one of those things. Like we could just jump into that. But let's digress. The cord situation. The cord, yeah. Yeah, that was getting to you, but I was a little frustrated. You're like, dude, I'm gonna put this fucking fist through a wall. Dude, oh man. I hate when like shit like that happens where you like need to go to like 3 fucking stores to like get one thing and then like and then while you're trying to be creative too. Like we didn't even buy the thing that we planned on getting. We were like we're supposed to get this like $60 cord and then we spent like $15 on this like little converter thing. That's not even like a full cord. We've got 3 cords, 2 converters. Dude, that's hilarious. Shout out. This is what it's like, man. You want to be an independent musician, this is what it's like. You gotta make it happen. It happen. Someone get rid of cords. That'd be nice. Yeah, I was gonna say if any of y'all corporations can stop being money hungry bastards and just like tell us exactly what we need to get. Oh, I love it. That would be great, but I fucking love it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, man. One thing after the other on that one for sure. I don't know, man. I'm really I don't know. It's only been like less than 24 hours since it's been out, but so far, it's been nothing. It's been nothing. We're filming this on Friday, by the way, so it dropped earlier this morning. Morning, I guess, technically midnight, but not our time zone. It drops 11 our time zone, but isn't that weird? It is. I didn't know that until, dude, like Blue Jacket just told me that on the Afterlife. I've dropped so much music, dude. I didn't know that. It is.
I check my shit at 12. I'm like, it dropped.
It's
No, dude.
I know, dude.
It's been out.
It's wild, but I've got nothing but positive feedback so far. I really hope people.
Dude, if someone gives you negative feedback,
I hope people can like listen to this like interview too and like get more perspective on the album, because like I feel like a lot of albums nowadays are just like a collection of songs that like sound good together, which like this is, but it was very much like I was more intentional about wanting to create a project that tells a story and like
I think you
provides you with a lesson. You know?
So I learned a lot.
I really hope people can take away from that, man.
I did for sure. I think if someone says they don't like it, they got to be lying. Let's start with this relapse song. I want you to like just listen to it quick and just like whatever thoughts you have, whatever notes you have that like you just want people to know.
Hell yeah, man. I do want to touch here real quick. I do want to touch there, that part of the song, kind of like the production and the lyrical aspect, where it's like, I don't know, because I like, as soon as I started making this shit, I knew it was going to be the intro.
Oh,
I have a story about writing this. I have the first like lines that I got bitches backstage trying to smoke with me, get in my zone, but your ghost has been controlling me. I'm all alone in my hotel, wish you were holding me, scroll through my phone, I've been hoping you would notice me. So many faces in this room I don't recognize, but they all look like you when I close my eyes. Okay. Like I had that written, dude. I wrote that, no beat. I didn't even start the beat. I just had the melody in my head. Nice. I was in line to see Taylor Swift at the Eras tour with my little sister.
That's so nice.
And we were in line for so fucking long. Like, dude, it was so, because it's like a huge stadium. There's like so many people there to see her, bro. Like Taylor Swift is like, I don't know how she does that, bro.
She's got a
back-to-back sold out like stadiums like every week
behind her, dude.
How do you like even? How does your voice do that? Like I can't.
Oh my god!
I can't imagine like the vocal training she goes through. Like that's like insane. You got to be like not talking.
I do one show and feel like trash, and I'm a fucking rapper. Like
I know for real. I wake up the next day after like the release party we did, and I'm just like,
were you even able to talk, dude? Yeah,
I'm at work like. Yeah, I can do that. Like,
dude, you put your heart and soul into it. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, I watched you put your heart and soul into this one song. You started screaming, and it was like in the middle of it. And then I was just like, how is he gonna like start the next song? Like, how did you just fucking?
I know. And then I was like, that's it, folks. Started ranting and shit. But
oh my god, no.
The like production on that song is like so cool to me because I didn't even think it was gonna be like a house song. But like when I like did that with the pitch modulation and stuff. Like if you
explain a little bit what you did to those vocals too, like with the pitch modulation.
I just used a pitch modulator to turn it down, and then what I did is like it sounds really like there's like a side chain on it, but what I did is I put reverb on like the vocals, right?
Okay.
I reversed the vocals with reverb on them, exported it, and then unreversed it, which is why it sounds very like. So I put reverb on the reversed vocals, dry. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like
so the reverb is
so
reversed.
It sound like like it sound like the reverse vocals dry.
Yeah.
I put reverb on that. I exported it into like so it's dry reverse or it's reverse vocals with reverb. And then I unreverse them. So the reverb is going backwards. And then I put it in the vocal chain.
That's sick.
And like did all the pitch modulation and stuff and added a side chain.
Just randomly.
I was fucking with it, bro. Cause dude, like there's a lot of auto-tune on that song.
Yeah.
Not that I like need it, but like it sounded like shit without the side, without that. And I was like, dude, well, how can I like sauce this up?
Okay.
Cause I wanted it to be very like, we're talking about distractions on this album.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be like the lyrics on that song are so like dark and like deep to me. Like it's very like story, like almost Edgar Allan Poe-esque writing, you know, like gothic, like dark stuff. But I wanted to like distract you from that. So I pitch modulated the vocals and I added the side chain and all these effects and like these little bits of like ear candy in the production. And if you listen, like the reason the vocals are pitch formatted is because I wanted to portray the act of distracting yourself from what's really going on. Because I'm talking about these feelings that I'm struggling with, these insecurities, substance abuse that I'm dealing with, right? In this song. And it's like, but it's like distracting you because it's formatted. You can't really tell what it's saying all the time. It's sidechain. There's like a lot of production going on. But if you listen, there's the regular vocal layer is peeking through during certain parts of the song. Like there's a layer of non-formatted vocals that like layer over it.
Okay.
But it's quiet and it has chorus on it because it's trying to peek through, but it can't like reach the surface.
Got you.
And it's like you're drowning out your real voice. You're covering it up and you're drowning it out in the noise of like the club. Like, oh, I feel like shit. I've got all these insecurities. Hold on, let me just go out to this party. Let me go to this. And then you hear the house beat and you're like, okay, like you just bop your head, you know? And so you forget about the song, which is talking about fucking like drug addiction and like want not like a breakup. Like, dude, that line fucking like so many faces in this room I don't recognize, but they all look like you when I close my eyes. It's like you're distracted by like these random people at this party, at this scene that I'm creating. And then you close your eyes and all you see is that thing that you're trying to get over.
I love that.
Even when you're in the midst of the distraction, it's there. It's subliminal. It's that voice peeking out, crying for help. And it's like, oh, dude,
that's deep.
I don't know, man.
That's deep. I love it. And you can tell, like, bro, like that's
it's so dope, dude.
That's why I love this whole project, man. Like just the amount of like
the production on this album, I was working with one of my like executive producers. He first like produced Runner Up. I sent her the demo and she was like, oh, this is cool. It has a lot of potential, but it's kind of boring. And I was like taken aback. I was like,
what'd you
like,
say?
Like, you saying I'm trash? She was like, no, it's just like it drags on. You need to add more. And I was like what? And she was like, oh, like add something here. And I do like vocal harmonies. And she'd be like, that's good. And she'd be like, oh, add like another instrument here or this reverse effect. Or add the beat cuts and like the all I think about's you. Oh, you know? Yeah. Like just little things, like little bits of ear candy, but they add a lot to the song. Oh, absolutely. You know?
Yeah.
And like
she did.
I know. And I was like, whoa, this is like a whole new song.
Yeah.
Almost. And I like had like the original one like turned into DistroKid, like set to drop. So I had to like take it down and like remaster it and everything. But
that's awesome.
Dude,
it's crazy how that shit can happen.
Like, it is. It's
Shout out her for telling you that.
I know. And she like brought it up. She was like, I feel like that's like the case with a lot of your like discography right now. It's like, it's cool. It's got potential. And like, it doesn't always need to be that way, but like your production seems very repetitive. It's very cut, copy and paste for certain
I could kind of see that like in my own world. Like, I think I take it to a certain point and I wish I had more people around me to give me advice. 'Cause I feel like I take it and I just heard it so many times. I don't know what to do. And it starts getting just like, it's like just being a dead horse. It's like, all right. Yeah. So like to have someone cool like that, like give you some honest advice and not some like this is trash.
I try. That's why I like show everyone like my stuff before it drops. Because I want to hear different perspectives on it. Because like I get to show it to my music friends like you and Blue Jacket and like
I get a little sneak
LK, you know?
Yeah.
And like
absolutely.
I get to like get some feedback, but then I get to show like consumers, like people who listen to my music, and I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? And they're like, because they see it as like a brand that they're consuming. Like obviously they're friends with me, they see like who I am, but they're like, how does this like, it's more like, it's a less like technical standpoint to look at it. And there's so many people I ask about stuff like awesome. Weenie was featured on my last album 19 on our song Wasted Time. Shout out Weenie, she's so dope. Dude, I love her to death. I've been friends with her for so long. There's not a single thing that I have out that I haven't like ran by her.
Oh, nice.
There's like a voicemail skit called Are You Busy Tonight on my Tell My Mama I Love Her, my first album.
Yeah.
And she like recorded that skit. Oh, and there's like another skit in our song Dinner Table that she does. And like, I don't know, she's like helped like create like the creative direction in like almost all my projects.
Fuck yeah,
So
fuck yeah. It's great to have those people.
Shout out
around.
Weenie. She's been at a couple of the shows so far. She's dope.
I've seen her around. I don't think we've met yet or not.
Hopefully, bro. Hopefully she starts coming out with some solo stuff because she needs to drop, bro. She needs to drop music. She's such a talented songwriter. One of the like coolest people I've ever had the pleasure of creating with.
Oh yeah.
Just like this guy right here, man.
Oh, fucking love you, bro. Right back at you, man.
But
I've learned so much from you, and just like in general, like you've been a huge inspiration and a huge like just a beacon of light and an inspiration, learning point in my life. You know,
Thank you, man.
It's been, and I've known you for a short time. I've known people for years that like haven't really changed me at all, and I think it's really great to like keep people that like keep you progressing and learning around you. You know, what I mean, like
same for you, man.
you.
I feel like you've been creating for like a long time now,
Oh, yeah.
and you got like 10 times as much music as anybody else in fucking Madison, bro, out. So like it's like cool to see how like you've evolved as an artist and how I can like implicate that into like my musical journey, you know. So
it's fucking nice,
I like
appreciate you immensely, dog.
Yeah, no, you too, man.
Don't you